What's up guys, welcome to your 6th JavaScript tutorial. And in this tutorial I'm going to be going over something called arrays. Now what an array is pretty much a way to store a bunch of information in a single variable. So say you had a bunch of names that you wanted to list out. All you would have to do is type in one variable and you could store as many other pieces of information inside that as you want. And it's easier just to see, as always, so I'm just gonna start doing it and walk you through the process. Now there's two different ways that you can write an array. The first way is this. First you have to declare your variable, and we'll call it names. And then you have to type in new array. And the word array has to be capitalized. Now all the values that you want to stick in your array have to go in the parameters. So say we want our first name to be Tony, and our second name to be Mike, and our third name to be Dan. So now this variable name has three values: Tony, Mike, and Dan. Now you're thinking, alright, so how do I actually get to the arrays and spit them out on the screen? Well, to do this you need a different kind of syntax, and that's using the square brackets. So let me just alert this so it pops out on the screen. And anytime you want to recall an array, you type in first the name of the variable, which ours is names, and in square brackets, and in square brackets you type in whatever number you want. So this is going to be actually the second element in the array, and I'll tell you why it's the second. Although we typed 1, the computer doesn't count like me and you counts. It starts with a number 0, so it counts Tony equals 0, Mike equals 1, Dan equals 2. So although we have three elements, they're labeled 0, 1, 2. So right now this is going to output the word Mike. So let me save this and show you guys what it looks like. As you see, our JavaScript now outputted the word Mike. So again, anytime you want to make an array and store a bunch of values in a single variable, say you had a bunch of names you want to list, you would type new array, and then you would type the word, whatever words you want, separated by a comma. Remember, text goes in quotation marks, numbers don't. So as you can see, we now have this syntax to write an array. So that leads us into our second way that we can write arrays. If you wanted just to type them out hand by hand, I'll just start again to clarify things. First we would declare the variable. Again, we'll call ours names. That's going to be our array. And we'll type in new array, and we'll leave our parameters empty. Now anytime we start to type in our array, we could just set it equal to whatever we want the values to be. So at first we would write names, and in square brackets, remember, you start with 0, and then you type in the value you want. I think we had Tony for 0, and then you would just go down the line, and this is the exact same syntax. Actually I thought I had Mike, and of course for our last one, we'll just have a last one and we'll call it Greg. And this right here is the exact same syntax that we did before. And it's just better so you can visualize it easier. So again, if we went down here and said alert, and then we typed in names, and then let's do 2, and we outputted this on the screen, as you can see, it outputted Greg. Now just experiment with these, and you can see that there's two different ways of doing the exact same thing. Some people prefer the first over the second. I prefer this method because it's easier to see your variables and your values. And arrays are very useful when you have a bunch of similar values and you want to stick them inside a like variable. So study this and watch my next tutorial. Thanks.